Hey, Vaughn here. Guys, today I'm making a video that is a bit different because, to be honest, I don't have anything to do. I'm free as fuck, I'm bored, and I thought this would be a good video because I'm still working on the scripts for a bunch of videos. I have a big video on It Is Zero, like a big review on the Aoi War in general. The arc in general, and yeah, I just was free and thought, why not just make a video and have fun, to be honest, because this is the only way I have fun right now. So yeah, anyways, yeah, I'm making a tier list, as you guys can see. Just let me check everything, if is everything okay. Yeah. Anyways, I'm making a tier list about the best arcs. Not the best arcs. I'm ranking the arcs in Eden Zero from best to worst, basically. There was an F tier. I deleted that row because, to be honest, I don't think there is an F. Like, if I had to rank the lowest arc, it wouldn't be even in the F tier. That's why I deleted that row. So we have the S tier, we have the A tier, we have the B tier, C tier, D tier, even the D tier though. No. I'm keeping the D tier. I don't think I'll put anything in the D tier, but just in case. So anyways, shout out to this person that made it in the tier list. To be honest, the tier list maker, to be honest, I did not think that I would find anything related to Eden Zero in the tier list maker, because everyone hates Eden Zero for some reason, because it's associated with the fairy tale by default. So yeah, anyways, let's get this started. So we have all the arcs that happened in the manga. So we have the Meldian Arc, the Meldian Arc, we have the Senjual Arc, we have the Granville, or the intro arc, basically, the first two chapters. We have the Gilst Arc, we have the Bilialgor Arc, we have the Ziggy Returns Arc. I don't think if that's an arc, that's only like 3 to 4 chapters. We have the Red Cave Arc, I love this arc. We have the Aoi War Arc, which we just finished with. We have the Foresta arc, we have the Digitalis arc, and the Norma arc. So yeah, I think I'm gonna start with the I'm gonna start in order, like the first that happened, and then I'll go on like that. Like, we'll start with the Granville or intro arc. I don't think this is an arc, it's just an intro chapter, like 2 chapters basically. The Granville arc, I would put it as a C, because no, it's it's oh my god, this is hard, yo. It's a C. Why I'm saying it's a C, let me just reduce the music, because this is fucking with my okay, why I'm saying it's a C, because as a starting point to the manga, as of right now, the manga is completely different from where we started. Like, this was such a bait, because everyone thought this would be like just fairy tale in space or One Piece in space, and it turned out to be completely different. It's brutal, it's crazy, it's sadistic sometimes. So yeah, I think as an introduction arc to the story, it does not portray what the story is that well, to be honest. So I'll put it in the C tier. Although the last scene with Shiki leaving the planet has made me cry a bit, just a bit, you know. But that's beside the point. Then we have the, I think we have the, not the Sanjul, not, I think the next one is the Norma, because, I'll go with the Norma. The Norma arc is the introduction to Wise, obviously, and Wise is the best boy. And it's the first time we see timelines introduced into Eden Zero, and the existence of the chronophage, which is like the grim reaper of this manga, basically. So yeah, I think the Norma arc was a good arc. I wouldn't say it's great because the villain, I forgot his name, Wise's buddy. The villain was a bit weak, and overall it was just an exposition to the whole chronophage thing, and the insignificance of timelines within the story, basically. And it was the introduction arc for one of the main characters. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's that good. I'll put it as I'll not even put it as a B tier because it's not that good, to be honest. Then we have I think the next arc that happened was what happened? Yeah, I'm going with the Gilst arc, then the Digitalis. The Gilst arc, it was the first time that we have seen a glimpse of how dark Hiro Mashima was intending this story to be, you know. So it was dark. The villain was kind of meh. The fights were amazing in that arc. It's not even a big arc, you know. It's only 10 chapters. It was the introduction of Sister also, or the recovery of Sister. So I'll give it a B tier. Like the whole thing with the B cubers and the other stuff just wasn't for me, to be honest. But it's a good arc. Okay, then I'll go with the Digitalis. Yeah, I think I'm going with Digitalis. Then Melden, then Sanjul. Digitalis, oh my god, how would I rank Digitalis? As a concept and as a like, if I would rate it as a completely detached story from Eden Zero, I would give it an A, because it was so different, and the way Hiro played with the designs and everything, because this was almost like a self-commentary or a meta commentary, because at that point in time people were saying that Hiro is just reusing designs, and he's washed up, he doesn't know how to draw, and basically the like, you know. So he decided, why not just make an arc that I flex on everyone with the designs that I can make. So he introduced the female wise design, which was, oh my god, just if you give me any black woman or a dark skinned woman in anime, that's just my kryptonite. I'd die for that, you know. Then we have the Pino design, which was incredible, to be honest. That design was so good and fun, and it captures Pino's personality so well that I was so sad when it was not carried over to the next arc. But it is what it is. Like, she is supposed to be a mascot, even though I think her a plotline is still ongoing. Hiro is still hinting at something, that something is going to happen with Pino, with the constant nagging about humanity, with the constant nagging about her inferiority complex to humans, basically, and her wanting to become human, basically. So yeah, as an art, the villain was such a letdown, but that was also an introduction to my boy Draken Joe, and basically how ruthless he can be and how different he is. Basically, this was just a showcase of the villain that they struggled with in this arc, being offed by Draken Joe in such a like a badass manner, you know. That's why I love this arc. That so I'm giving this an A, even though if you look at it objectively, it's almost the same as the Gilst arc. It's nothing crazy except the whole concept of it and how different it is. That's what made it better for me than the Gilst arc. So yeah. Then I'll go with the Meldian Arc, because that arc was just, it's not even an arc. I'm not sure why they are naming it an arc, because it is an isolated event that happened. So yeah, I guess it's an arc. But this arc is only it only served as a foreshadowing for the battles and the things that will happen in the next arc, which is the Sanjul arc and the Belial Gore arc. So this arc, as an exposition dump and everything, it was good. The location was good, and everything about it was beautiful. But I cannot. There was no story, you know. So I think it's just like the Granville arc and the Norma arc. Is just an introductory arc, or an exposition arc, because there are some exposition arcs in Eden Zero. So it served a purpose, and it served its purpose well. So I'm giving it a C. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just it wasn't a complete story. It just served its purpose as a foreshadowing for the next arc. Basically, the Sanjul arc, obviously this is one of the best arcs, and this is the first time, the first glimpse that we saw how Hero wants Eden Zero to be, you know. He wants it to be dark, he wants it to be impactful, he wants it to be to have some consequences. He doesn't want the same thing with Fairy Tail, like if you if the villain basically says that he is sorry and he wants to do good, then it's all good and dandy and everything is okay. No, there are some consequences. There is a karma in place, which was what happened with Madame Kurenai. So yeah, I think this is the first arc that we saw Hero differentiate this manga from Fairy Tail, basically. So yeah, I think it's an 8. Let me just, because it cannot be the same as the Digitalist arc, let me just this, oh my god, this is such a, let me just change the title of this to Introductory arcs. Basically this list is for introductory arcs, or like there is no story in these arcs, basically. Even though the Norma arc, there was a story to it, but it served something different. It didn't, the original purpose of this arc was not to tell a story or solve a conflict or anything. It just basically foreshadowed something or introduced someone. So yeah, that's why I changed it, because it was, the naming of it was a bit harsh, you know, a C tier. That's basically saying it's bad. So yeah, the Digitalist arc, I knocked it down a bit because I cannot see it the same as the Sunjul arc. So by the process of elimination, it goes down. And the Foresta arc for me is the same thing as the Sunjul arc. I know many people will not put them in the same tier because they think that the Sunjul arc is way better than the Foresta arc because it was a complete story, you know, and there was a villain, and how can I say, there was a clear vision of how everything is playing out, you know, in the Sanjol arc. But in Foresta, it was more like a mystery. They are going and exploring and seeing what happened on this planet, and seeing the brutality of everything, and seeing how fucked up everything is, and how everything changed because Ziggy came and fucked this place up. And of course, this was the LC arc, not the LC arc. It was Elsie was in it, and she kicked some ass. She was badass. Her thighs were. I'm sorry, man. I just constantly bring up her thighs like it's my fucking kryptonite as well. Just show me Erza's design or Elsie's design, and I'll fucking die. I'll fucking die, man. Especially in this month, I'm starving, man. Anyways, as I said, the Foresta arc for me, it's even better than the Sanjol arc, to be honest, because the brutality of it, you know, the grim scenes that we saw there, and that's also I think that's the first time we saw Cat Leaper's other ability, which is the rewinding of time by 5 to 10 seconds. So that was a big thing that happened there. We saw how Shiki was outclassed by everyone. We saw Victory, we saw Creed, we saw Elsie, we saw Justice, we saw everyone, man. And we saw Xenolith. And after that, the training arc. You cannot tell me that this is not a top tier arc. I would even put it on the S tier, but because of the next two arcs, that you cannot just put them on the same tier list, you know. The Red Cave arc as a self-isolated story, I loved it. Like the love, and you know that sometimes a chronophage is better for these people, just like with the Ghost planet. If the chronophage came and ate their time, they would be together forever, you know, and their love would be eternal. And we know that Hiromashima is always writing with love in mind, because in Fairy Tail, love was a big topic. Not just love as in a romantic sense, but love in general, you know. So yeah, I think the Red Cave arc for me is an A tier arc, because it had, for me, I had an emotional connection with it, you know. And I respect Hiro for trying to dedicate an arc just for those two characters. I think that he just wanted to write a love story, and he just thought this would be cool if he expanded on this on an isolated planet, on an unrelated story. And here he introduced the existence of the mother relics and their importance, and how that system works basically. So yeah, it's a very important arc, I'd say. Then we have the Belial Goer. Oh my god, this arc. This arc is such a fucking mindfuck, you know. The first time I read it, and that's when I was catching up. So thank God I was not reading Eren Zero Weekly at that time. I caught up at chapter 127, basically, on the Foresta arc. Oh yeah, why did I... anyways, what the fuck, let's just move on. Basically, thank God I wasn't reading this arc weekly, because if I was reading this arc weekly, I would be fucking broken, man. I would be a broken man, because that chapter 83 to 84, that chapter was such a mindfuck, you know. I would never have imagined that Hiro would go that far, you know. to kill a main character, not just to kill a main character, to kill the main protagonist, but it was to showcase the cat sleeper ability. And to be honest, I wanted, when that timeline finished, I wanted to spend more with Rebecca in that timeline, so we can see more of her broken and traumatized self more, you know. So that if that happened, people will would stop talking bad about Rebecca, saying that she's a mid character, she's just Lucy reskinned, or she's just useless or anything like this, you know. So yeah, for me, the Billy Gore arc definitely is the arc that defined Eden Zero, and the arc that elevated it from a pretty good shonen manga to a fucking outstanding story, to be honest. It's outstanding. Then we have the Aoi work. Ziggy Returns. It was badass as fuck, but it's not a complete story, you know. I would even put it in the introductory arc spot, because it had those amazing spreads and how can I say it, Ziggy's badassery, basically. So yeah, I'll put it in on A. And then the Aoi work, the Aoi War arc, as we all know, I think it's arguably the best arc that Hero has ever done, period, in any story that he's ever made. Like, even in Fairy Tail, if a Fairy Tail is not a comparison. If we want to compare Hero's work in terms of quality, we'll compare it with Rave Master, because Rave Master was Hero's quality work. Fairy Tail was a mega hit. It was a success. It was a huge success. But in terms of story and everything, it was not the best. And we can all agree on that. Like, it's not the best manga. It's not the best story. It was entertaining. It was fun. At the beginning, it had so much potential to be one of the best mangas out there, but because Hiro was writing it weekly, he just went with the flow, and he's sometimes made the wrong choices, and that made Fairy Tail drop. After it's also after the Tenru Jima arc that Fairy Tail dropped. So when we compare Eden Zero to any other Hiro Mashima work, we have to compare it to Rave Master, not Fairy Tail. So when you compare it to Rave Master, the Aoi War arc, I would say it's better than any arc in the Rave Master. The only thing that's Rave Master is better than anything, is better at than any other manga done by Hiro, is the flow of the story. The flow of the story was amazing. Arc after arc, you are flowing and you are experiencing everything like it's meant to be, you know. Every step of the way was meant to be. That was what made Rave Master so special, you know. So as I said, the Aoi War arc is definitely the best arc in Eden Zero, and it is, for me, arguably the best arc from Hiro Mashima. I would put the Star Vestige arc, I think that's the name of this that arc from Rave Master, as a close second. Then I'll even put the Belial Gore. Then I'll put one of the early arcs of Fairy Tail. You know that arc when Lux confined Gajil and Natsu in the guild. that served as a foreshadow, as a foreshadowing for the real age, you know. So yeah, that was also a good arc because it was fun. Hero was having fun. It was unique. It was the abilities were amazing back then. So yeah, then I'm just leaving it at that. Anyways, that's my tier list. To be honest, I didn't want to make this tier list. I wanted to make the waifu tier list, but it's no, not November, and if I looked at anything related to Elsie, Rebecca, Homura, or anything, I'm gonna bust a nut. Like, I'm not even gonna front. I'm gonna bust a nut. Like, seriously. So yeah, that's why I made this arc tier list. So yeah, if you guys liked the video, give me a like. If you didn't like it, give me a dislike. That's totally cool. Subscribe for more content, and yeah, I guess this is it. Bye.